Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing an interior design video, which was requested by no one, but I had some clients come to me and ask for some advice. So today I'm going to be walking through their living room and just giving them suggestions as to what I would do to change it. I know that they're in the process of redesigning it, and they gave me no indication as to what their style was, so I'm going purely off of what I would do, which is obviously the right way to go, but you know, everyone's different, so take this with a grain of salt. The first picture we're going to start on is this one right here. It's very normal home. Nothing is, you know, egregious about it, but there are some things that I would do. The first thing that I notice is that I really don't love black, like fake wood pieces. And a lot of this living room is black. It's just not my style. So the first thing that I would do is I would go in and I would change it with the darker wood coffee table, TV stand, something that isn't black, but isn't also the same color as the floor. So this like in between wood shade I think would be good. It's also difficult because the TV stand is at like a corner, but it's really, there's no good place to put it other than here. I think the layout of the living room is fine. There's nothing I would change about that. So there has to be a TV stand here and it has to be kind of small to fit in this corner. So I would choose something like the one that I have here. Yes, I was watching a Gone Girl YouTube video while I took these photos. Okay. Anyway. The next thing that I would do, well, okay, we're gonna fill it up with some stuff. I know that there's a DVD player in there, so I put that in there, some books, just for a pop of color, and then I tried to put these crochet sleeping dragons in here because that's what's on the original TV stand. I keep wanting to say coffee table. And I tried to erase the background, but it kept the hands in there, and I could technically like go in and get rid of it, but I think it's kind of funny, so I left the hands in there. Just something for some color and some interest in here. So yeah, that's what I would do there. And then the other thing that I'm noticing is this black frame. I don't love it. I think especially because the print itself is so heavily black, it just kind of it's not doing anything for it. So I went in and I put a different frame on it. My design skills are not like my actual, you know, technical Photoshop skills are not great, so just forgive me for that. You get the vision. But so I would go in, do a nice wood frame, something that doesn't blend in too much with the print. And then the only other thing here is this like gallery wall of these pictures of some random children. I don't know who they are, but they're probably important, so I want to keep them, but I didn't know how to do this right. So instead I just took a picture from Pinterest of like some shelving. So you have two shelves and then put kind of a bunch of small frames and trinkets and like records on there. I think that would help make a nice focal point for the area rather than having them just kind of be like scattered and very small. Like we want to put them all in one place. So I think something like this would be really nice. Get some shelves in there, put some prints and pictures, anything, records. I think this section, that's what I would do here. The next section over here, I will say, I love this fireplace and this brick wall. I think this is really gorgina. That's it for that. Also, there's a puppy in here. That's Milo. He let me do this, take these pictures around him, so shout out him. So in this section, the first thing that I would do is change this bookshelf. I don't love the mix of black and wood personally. That's just a personal thing. It's also way too low and way too small for the amount of books that are on it. So I would go in with something taller, something a little bit more of a warm wood. And then I went in here and put some books in it. because that's what a bookshelf is for, and there's so many books in this home. All of the shelves are probably going to be filled with books, but I just did 4 for the purposes of time. The other thing that I did here is I replaced the painting, which I don't know if it has any like sentimental significance, but I think it is not doing anything for the space. It's just not very colorful. I think you could bring a nice vibrant piece in here, something with like a bright red or like green or something, just to, again, bring focus to it and not have it just be like, we put this here because we needed to put something here. I just chose this one off Pinterest. It can be anything, but something with a little bit of intrigue would be nice here. I also went in and put a table lamp on here. I think there's a floor lamp in there, and that's kind of the only source of lighting that's not ceiling lighting. I think having table lamps is really nice just to set like ambiance, and just feels like cozy to have a nice table lamp. So I would put something like that on here, or even on the TV stand, something like this with like a nice round base, to kind of soften out all of the corners everywhere, like on the painting and the bookshelf, just to give it some texture and some different shape. So that's what I would do here. And then moving into the fireplace area, I really like the fireplace mantle. I don't think, like, again, there's not a lot happening here, and I think that if this were my fireplace, I would want to like put a lot of focus on it because it's just really cool. So the first thing that I would do is I would put some candles on here, which I think there are like the regular jar candles, but I would do some like fun candlesticks, something with a lot of color, just to kind of add some height, something a little fun. You don't have to light them. I just think they look cool. The other thing I would put here is a mirror. There are no mirrors in the living room, which is fine. And like, this is kind of a little bit too high to really like feasibly use it, but I think it looks cool. It reflects light and makes the room just feel a little bit brighter and bigger. And again, an opportunity to add some color, something fun. I think that would look really good on here. And also I would keep the print that's on there right now. I just had to cover it for the purposes of this video, but I do think it's a cute print, so I would keep that there too. You could do something like the shelving in the first part where you kind of like stack them on top or in front of each other too. I think something like that would be good in the space. So for our last angle, I added everything that we'd put in the first sections on the far side by the TV. And Milo is here too. Winnie, it's okay. Yeah, anyway. Again, here you kind of see what I'm talking about. There's not a lot of color here. Everything is just kind of gray. And it's just not my style personally. So I would first actually take the curtains that are off the windows now. I think there's Roman shades underneath. I would just leave the shades as they are. I think the curtain, just like the color scheme, isn't my favorite, and I don't think it like does anything for the space. So I would either replace them with something more colorful or just get rid of them and just have the shades by themselves. I would also change the carpet, something that's pretty neutral still, but some pops of color, some deep colors like this red and green and blue. Not something super crazy, but just a little bit of color. I would also change the sofa. I love a green sofa. I just do. So I went in with that, and it also took some colors from the carpet. So it kind of is just a more cohesive look. The sectional I put here, it's facing the wrong way, but I couldn't get it to have the ottoman part on the other side, but just pretend it's there instead. I think this is beautiful. And then the last thing I would do is change out the coffee table, because again, it's just like that black wood that I don't like. So I would just, again, change it, maybe match it to the color of the TV stand or something a little bit different, but some dark wood that ties in the browns from the rug, the earth tones from the green sofa, something like that I think would be great here. So yeah, that's what I would do for this space. Shout out to my clients for commissioning me for this. I haven't decided how much I'm going to charge them for my services. I guess we'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching. Happy Mother's Day, and maybe I'll see you next time.